Hey, what's up, Acapellics? Welcome back to AcapellicTV podcast with your boys at the Vanessa, aka Acapella, and today we're joined by someone who you guys already know, and that's me, the Messiah. So what's up, man? How you been?
What's up, man? I appreciate this. I mean, like, you're the OG as far as
Nah,
supporting what I do, and I think you were probably the first interview I did too. Like, we were just talking about this before, like way back in the day when I was just leaving high school, just getting to college, like kind of just starting out in music and stuff. And like so much has happened since then, so it's like really good to reconnect and shit, man, for sure.
yeah, hell yeah, because I remember we met in Queens, right? I forgot his name at
Yeah,
that showcase. I was
yeah, with Peak, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yo, bro, who the fuck is this, man? You know, you start rapping some kind of shit. I was like, yo. And then over time, you were rapping, but I think you were more focused in school, no?
Yeah, no, for sure. You know what's crazy too is so I didn't even know this was happening, but
Mhm.
I've been making a lot of music with Be Good lately. He's a very talented artist on Long Island, and he plans a lot of shows out there. I saw on one of the bills for an upcoming show we have on 27 that Zeke was gonna be there, and I was like, I said to Be Good, I'm like, I didn't even know you knew Zeke. He was like, yeah, well, he reached out to me about the show, and I was like, that was like one of the first shows I did out in Queens. Like I haven't seen that guy in years,
Years.
because I did like two or three of his showcases out there. Um, but I'm looking forward to now because I'm like it'll be good to reconnect with him. It's been quite some time too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I haven't heard anything from him either, man. He's been ghost
Yeah.
for a minute.
No, well he's posting about a lot of new songs. He's working on stuff too. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's working on something, but I'll see what he performs for that set. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of cool artists. So I'm looking forward to it. For anyone watching this, if you're on Long Island the 27th, I think it's gonna be a One Eye Jacks. It's gonna be a really good show. I'll be there too, doing songs from each of these like projects I put out in the 2020s so far. So it's gonna be exciting, man. So if anyone's available for that day, pop out. Be a good time.
Hell yeah, man. Is there any tickets I have to buy, or you just go there, hang out, whatnot?
They could buy the door. They could buy the door, bro.
Oh,
Tell
all
me
right.
they could buy the door. That's it.
All right, yeah, because this podcast episode's coming out this Monday, so it's a good time. I'll probably put the information on the bottom if they want to
Yeah,
head out there.
yeah, you could. Yeah, that'd be solid. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, but I'm gonna need you to send it to me. I need you to
Oh
remember
yeah,
it
yeah. I got you. I'll send on Insta. I got you, bro.
for sure, man. But yo, man, it's been a minute. So yeah, I was talking about how we met in Queens, doing your thing, and you were more focused in college. Then you have to believe you went ghost, right, for a minute too.
I'm sorry. Was I couldn't really hear you, bro?
Oh, I said that for a minute you went ghost too.
Yeah.
I believe like 3, 4 years ago, I believe, and then you started making music here and there, but it was more like you dropped an EP, if I'm not mistaken,
Hmm.
but then you
Yeah.
started releasing stuff.
I mean, a lot of what I've been doing is more so like short projects. I mean, because like I don't know if this would be considered EP. Like I dropped one project in 2020 that was 8 tracks, right? It was called What Am I to Do?
Mhm.
And I mean, I've sort of considered an album just because of the way it flows. And at the time, I was really into Kids See Ghosts, and they put out like a 7 track project, but they were like Kid Cudi and Kanye. They were like, nah, it's an album, right? And I
Yeah,
thought that was awesome because at first I was like, no, it's an EP. And upon listening to it, I realized that it really flowed like an album. So when I was making What Am I to Do, I was like, I want this to flow like an album, despite it being 8 tracks, despite it being kind of on the short side.
Mhm.
So, I've had friends that be like, they'll tell me they love the project. They're like, I don't know what to consider it. Is it an EP? Is it an album? I'll be like, whatever you consider, as long as you vibe with it. That's appreciated to me. So, I
yeah, no,
mean,
and I've seen your development and how you mature in your music because this new project you just dropped, which we're gonna get into at some point, combating madness. Oh,
mhm.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
Like
thanks.
honestly, this is like the best work you've done in like so far, man. And that what's it called, Frostbite? That's my favorite
Mhm.
right there. I was playing it over and over,
Yeah.
like right before you even joined too. Yo, this is
I
my
appreciate
shit
it,
right
man.
here,
Yeah.
bro.
It's funny with that one. That's like one of those EPs that, or like one of those projects overall that it's it was so difficult to record some of those songs because a lot of them were just like very personal, and like there's a lot we were trying to get across. Where I think the main objective of what I set out to do with Combating Madness is that I wanted it to be something that resonated with people, that spoke to people, but also I want it to be something that made people feel empowered. You know, like maybe there's certain things I'm speaking on that project. Like, you know, I had a friend of mine, an artist of mine, like that I worked with before. Um, his name was Ace, and he had committed suicide like about a year ago. So I was writing the intro song around that time, and thinking about what he must have been going through. That was something I was writing about. You know, same with Frostbite. I was writing about like what's like to go through, I guess, heartbreak and such. But I wanted people to hear these songs and be like, damn, that resonates with me. But then kind of feel an empowerment, you know, to overcome what that must feel like, the heaviness of it, with songs like, you know, that interlude track, the Searching for Serenity one, and then the outro, DWN, right? Done with Negativity. Like, I wanted to feel like I wanted people to come out of that EP feeling empowered to just like, you know, combat whatever madness they going through too. That was really the objective with that one. So I appreciate you saying that was probably some of my best work, because that was definitely some of my like most personal work, and it definitely was full circle in a sense of like there was a lot on that EP that I was trying to do like early on, and I was like, but now we're really executing it. Now we're really like recording and mixing and presenting it like how I always wanted to.
Yeah, I could tell, man, because you brought back that old Mute the Messiah, the one I met in Queens with that God I Hate What We've Become. I was like, yo, that's the old Mute Messiah that that you were doing back in the day. So talking that conscious stuff.
Yeah.
And then the soul EP, like I said, you made me feel a type of way, man, where I resonate with what you're saying and the music you're making and creating. So I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like you said, when dealing with heartbreak, it's something that drives a lot of people to do certain things that you probably would never think that you'll do, like committing suicide or drinking and addictions and all this other stuff. I think that's the reason why I also resonate with that song, because I've been through that too.
Yeah.
So I know what that's like, and damn, it hurts in the beginning, but then after a while, you're like, hey, man, that's what comes with the game.
Well, it's just one of those things that when you go through it, you find a lot of strength. And I know that like I have friends personally, or I just like know of people too that are going through similar things. So I was like, I need to empower my people. Like that's a lot of my music is about empowering people to like overcome whatever they're experiencing type shit, even if it's different from what I'm experiencing. So to me, again, a lot of people would reach out to me and say like, this project spoke to me, and that really meant a lot, because I was like, that's what we were going for. We want to do something like that for sure.
Same here, man. I mean, when I was younger, probably just hearing that ignorant shit was like something like, oh, that's cool that jam out to this. But this project, as I'm older now, with this project, I'm like, yo, this is something I definitely could vibe to. That definitely introduced with Serenity, right? I believe that's what the title of the song.
Yeah.
That one was deep too. I was like, yo, this is something I could definitely vibe to, and this is something definitely going into my playlist. I've been busy. I haven't been able to listen to all your music and whatnot. Like, all you guys have been dropping music since, I just came back from vacation too. I was in Cali.
Yeah, you in Cali, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Nice.
thinking about living out there, but that's not the point. The point right now is like, your project is amazing, man. And if you haven't heard this project yet, Combating Madness, you have to hear it. Trust me. If you love J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, this is something you're definitely gonna love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, with the interlude too. I mean, I was super inspired by like I've been listening to a lot of like Sabbath's newest project, A Few Good Things. I was super inspired by his perspective on that, his style of rapping too. Like, I really like that album a lot. And I remember we weren't even gonna have that interlude on the EP, but then one of the singers I worked with for DWN, we were sort of doing like an interview with him to see like just his experience of like working on the song. We want to get the perspective of the collaborators. And one thing that, my guy asked him was, what does combating madness mean to you? What are the ways you combat madness? And he was saying, I combat that with serenity. And when he said that, like, it made me realize, I was like, that's what this EP is missing. We need a song that just goes with that theme and just like, speaks to that. Because I feel like a lot of that track is talking about like, I think not enough people kind of take breaks from things. We're in like a culture in a society where people just keep going.
Fast paced, man.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta take a step back from some shit. You gotta take a minute to breathe, type shit. You gotta just, and so I wanted to make a song that I guess like reminded people to, or inspired people to, in a sense. So
yeah,
it was a track that I was like, this EP needs it. and it was one of my favorite ones from it. So I was really glad that we worked on it.
Yeah,
Sure.
man, I love that too, man. And like you said, fast-paced life, mainly in the city where everything's just current, like every
Yeah.
single day, everything's going fast, and you have no time. Like, how you say it? Like, sometimes you wish somebody was there for you, but even they themselves are going through stuff in life, and they don't really have time for anybody. And you yourself, you're like, you feel like a burden and whatnot.
Mhm.
And just life here in New York, to be honest with you, it's just stressful, man. That's how when I went out of Cali, I was in the countryside. Bro, I was like, yo, I need this, man. I'm
Yeah,
coming out here to live out here, you know?
it's so different out there. But yeah, I mean, no, it is like life does come with a lot of stresses, man. But it's again like kind of with the title of the EP, it's like how do you combat that madness? You
How
know,
you
how
deal
do
with it,
you
yeah.
what are the ways of that? And I think that the interlude kind of speaks to that in a sense. At least ways that work for me. Maybe it will help other people, maybe not. But I think that either way, it's a bop of a track.
Yeah, hell yeah. And besides that,
Yeah,
man, it's
yeah,
not just for us older folks, but also for the younger kids. 'Cause, a lot of young kids nowadays are depressed, stressed out. They don't know
yeah.
where to go in. They're confused. And some people going to college, like, for example, my cousin, right? She's in college and she doesn't even know what she wants to do, but she's just in college
Mhm.
learning. And that's why I was going to bring that topic up for you. Like, what were you learning in college? Like, what were you going to do? Or are you doing it, a profession?
Oh, for me, like what I
Uh-huh.
was doing. I was actually studying audio production, so that's why I was like starting to work on music and shit.
Oh, so
Um,
you good.
yeah, I mean now I'm doing more like I guess like sales type of shit, but just because like I don't know, I found that a lot of the opportunities I was getting to work in studios were like kind of a little bit shady, and I was like I don't know about this, like, but I wanted to continue to make music regardless, so I'm still doing that. I go on weekends all the time. I record in Bushwick and Ridgewood, Bed-Stuy, wherever, bro, like wherever I can basically. As soon as I hop out to Long Island, my boy Tyler's studio. He raps under Ty the Truth, so I've put him on tracks before too. But he's got a good studio there. So I just always try to find time to. I mean, I take breaks in between projects to sort of regroup and think like, what do I want to say next? But once I have that, like I really put an effort towards recording it, executing it. That's a big thing I do now with the projects is execution. It's very
Now,
important to
how
me.
many years did you go to college for this?
I mean, I went for like 4 years, and then I wanted to change my major, but like a lot of my family was like, "Nah, don't change your major now," because I was like a junior or something. I was like, I guess I'll I'll stick with that. Like a lot of my family was like, just get the degree. And I was like, yeah, that's true, because it's true. You get the degree, it's like no matter what it's in, there's opportunities for that. So, and I,
Of
I was I
course.
was very fortunate to have the opportunity to even go to college, man. I was very fortunate to have that. So,
That's what's up, though, that you went to college for something you're actually interested in, which is
yeah,
music. Because some people go to college and then they end up not even going to the industry,
yeah.
where it's just kind of a waste, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a lot of friends like that. I had some friends that ended up doing things that were more like video production based, audio production based, and some friends like me that were like, I'm gonna go in a different direction, but I'm not gonna kind of give up
Of course.
on what I like to do, basically. So that's how I see it. I'm always gonna be creating like in whatever form. I mean, even if it's like if it's music, if it's whatever, I'm always gonna be creating just because that's how my mind works and that's what I like to do. So no reason to not.
And how many years did you do in college?
I did four. I
That's
did
not
four. So I
bad.
graduated back like 2019. And I mean that's really when quarantine started was when, like, I don't know, the music really production wise just kind of stepped up, because with what am I to do, I mean, so much was happening in the world that and in my personal life too that really inspired me.
Hmm.
So we were writing like a lot of songs and shit like crazy, and I remember my boy, his name is Fish, I was going to his studio all the time. And I had to go through the garage because his mom was like his studio was in his parents' house, kind of, right? And
Yeah.
his parents were like, yeah, well, we don't want him like walking through the house just in case he has COVID. Because this was like March 2020. I was working on
Oh,
songs.
damn. Yeah, that's when it was
So
like
yeah,
active, active.
but I was so determined because I was like, I have a lot of good songs here. So I
Yeah.
would literally walk through the man's garage, through the door into the basement, and we would just work on these tracks for like hours, re-recording, mixing. He would add little production things to it, like. But I still feel like What Am I to Do is probably like my magnum opus. I know other people will say Combat Madness might be the best project, Post Morbid Celebration might be the best project, but for me, like, What Am I to Do is the most important one, because that's, I think, when I was executing things, I leveled up. People were like, yo, this guy's like serious. Like this guy's like really putting out like good songs now, like quality tracks. And that's when I felt like I was like, I'm finally making things sound the way I want them to sound, and I'm finally doing it in a way that feels like original and authentic to me and my experiences, as opposed to like, I guess, who my influences are. So to me, like that's my magnum opus for sure. If I were to,
that's an artist perspective. It's like myself, you know, like if when I first saw myself doing a video and then an actual song recorded in the studio, I was like, yo, that's the main important thing, because that's when you start taking it to another step where you're taking it a bit serious.
yeah,
But from my side, right, as a fan perspective, speaking for myself, from my opinion, for me, Combating Madness, the best, man. I love it,
yeah,
bro.
I appreciate that, man. No, I really appreciate that, man. I think that one, again, I mean, even with the track like New Bangers, I Flow, it's like I used to make. I don't even think this one's online anymore. But I remember when I was in high school when I was rapping, like way early. I didn't even have a mic yet, but I would just rap at whatever shows I could, or I would write poetry and kind of do slam poetry, whatever shows I could.
That's how we all started, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's really how I started. But then like people talk shit, and there's this one kid. It was like MC Sarabisi or something talking that shit, and he was like, "Nah, I'm the best rapper here." I was like, "Nah, you're not." So then I literally bought a mic to make that song, and it was a song called "New Banger" or "No Bangers I Flow," and it was like dissing him. And I remember like, yo, like everyone in my high school was freaking out about, because they're like, "Yo, this shit's crazy!
Yeah,
Like you ripping apart this shit wild!" And, like they were looking like, "You gonna respond?" Like it was like fucking. It was a dumb rap beef, really, but it did show me like, damn, like I could really maybe make some songs and shit that people would really like.
yeah, no,
And
and when
so,
you went to Queens, bro,
yeah,
you proved it, bro.
yeah, no, I really feel like I proved a lot to people and myself, which I'm very proud of myself for that. But
Hell yeah.
with New Bangers too, I mean, it's sort of like the first one sampled like a violin track, I think, by what was the group, like Nothing But Strings or something, which is a really talented like a group of musicians that make violin music with like hip hop music combined, basically instrumentals like that. So I was like, I want to rap over this, right? But hold on, my laptop's dying. I gotta let me
Oh
plug
yeah,
the shit.
you good, man. Don't worry about it.
Hold up, man.
Nah,
Just
you good,
gotta,
man.
this bitch went from like 30% to fucking 7.
Maybe because it's on
I don't know
what's
how,
it called?
bro. Yeah, it's whack. I don't know how. Anyway, is that charging? Okay. Shit charging? Hold on.
No, you good, man. Take your time.
So anyway, so when it came to working on, I wanted to call this one like New Bangers, because I was like, this is me presenting like a new me, like years later, but I'm revisiting again old ideas of mixing violins and like hip hop music together, which granted like other artists have done. I'm not saying I'm a creator of this, but like I want I feel like the way I did it was kind of unique and shit, and I wanted this one to be very drill inspired, like not just because I'm a big fan of drill music, like Sleepy Hollow, like Fabio Foreign, like Chef G, like the whole Brooklyn drill scene and the UK drill scene. Like I like Stormzy, I like JME, Slow Tie, I like those guys. Lil Sims, hella underrated artist. I don't know if she's drill, but she's hella fucking underrated in the UK.
Honestly, I'm lost, bro. I really don't listen to drill.
No, bro, you gotta get on the drill scene, man. It's right in Brooklyn too. Like that's where it's happening, man. And
You know what the thing is though. The thing is that after a certain age, you just can't relate to that stuff. That's that's the reason why I also got away from the whole hip hop scene as well. I just couldn't no more. It's
no, I
too
get that.
stressful, too invading, and then very childish as well. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm 28. I can't be doing this anymore. I'm good. From my perspective, I got burned out as well. So it's like I really don't want anything to do with that. But I do want to be in a position where I could still share people's stories on here, and other people who are interested in making music and part of the dream. And probably you could say one thing right now that somebody else needs the information that you're giving right now, and they'd be like, yo, that's the thing that I was trying to find, and how I do this and how I do that, how I deal with college, how I deal with making music, how I deal with everything, and how do I still stay motivated or chase this dream when there's so many madness going on. And like you told me, you went from St. Anne to now living in Brooklyn. which I didn't know that until recently that we spoke. How was that move? Like going to college or moving to Brooklyn? Was any of this ever scary you, or like how difficult was it for you?
No, I mean I love Brooklyn, man. I really do. And like, you know, again, it's like I wanted to sort of establish myself and be on my own and shit. And it's just like I got a good community of people that I fuck with out here. So that's why I like Brooklyn a lot. And I just like the culture here too, man, for real. But it's like, and again, like, you know, speaking of Brooklyn drill, like, you know,
Yeah.
I like that scene too. I think you made a good point with like, you know, it is sort of like, I feel like drill music's the kind of thing that like I can't relate to as much too, because like I'm not involved with fucking gang activity and shit. That's not something I want to be involved in. That's not something I've ever been involved in.
Of course.
Like, so it's definitely something that I can't really relate to as much, but I do like the creativity of like the style of it and such. And I do like that it's expressing, I guess, like in a way it is kind of expressing like issues within communities like Brooklyn when it comes to like street violence and stuff. Like it is kind of, you know, making that be heard, which is why I think it's really dumb that like Eric Adams was trying to ban it, because I was like, because he was trying to be like, oh, well, drill music is increasing violence in Brooklyn. I'm like, no, it's expressing what's already there. Like if this wasn't happening, people wouldn't make songs about it, but it is, right? So it's not, the music is merely the expression of that, right? This man's thinking that like it's the cause of it, which I'm like, that's not the case. If this wasn't happening, nobody would be rapping about like gang violence in Brooklyn, right? Like Fabio wouldn't be doing that, Stevie Holland wouldn't be doing that, right? Like the way I used drill music for this song particularly was like I wanted to talk about, again, the whole theme of the EP, I guess, is like combat madness. So I want to talk about like combating inner voices that kind of, you know, will, I guess, kind of gaslight you in a sense and like discourage you from trying to accomplish things, or you know, tell you that you ain't shit. Basically, I feel like a lot
Of
of people
course.
have an internal voice, and I wanted to specifically use drill music as the template for a track about combating that, because I feel like drill music is very combative in a sense.
Mhm.
But again, we wanted to do it like in a way where, I guess, in a sense, it's referencing a lot of things that drill music reference, but now it's doing this more in like a metaphorical sense. Because instead of talking about like, you know, the experiences that Fabio or CP Hollow had with gang violence, we're
Yeah.
more talking about a war like internally within somebody's head type shit. So I'm sort of taking the influence of that, but like I'm making it more of like representing something else. You know what I mean? So that's really something I wanted to do with New Bangers. And a lot of people seem to have really fucked with the sound of it. Like a lot of people are
Yeah.
like,
I mean, I
for
don't want
sure.
to like cut you off,
Right.
man, but I feel like I have the responsibility to speak up for the reason that I think it would be a hypocrite of me to just say, yeah, you're right, you know, because I also have an opinion when it comes, you know, with drill music.
Yeah.
I lived here all my life in Brooklyn, so
Hmm.
honestly, man, like when it comes to violence and stuff, it only happens in a certain community
Yeah.
because I'm Hispanic, and it's not all Brooklyn.
Hmm.
You know, I think certain communities need to start policing their own communities.
Hmm.
I don't want to make this um a whole war against this community and that community and this and that, because people like to twist words. What I'm saying is that I think people are still hurt over so many years of probably slavery and this and that,
Hmm.
where people are feeling a certain way about certain lifestyle and this and that, but then there's also the Hispanic community where we also
Hmm.
land was stolen. Native Americans' land was stolen. We were treated as immigrants. We treated as rapists. All of us. And we treated a certain way, and now because of that, we're gonna start sparking off robberies and riots and killings and so many damn stuff that are going on in the city.
Yeah.
So I
100%.
think it's a community that's still hurt that needs to find a way to heal. I think it's a lot of healing that needs to be done more than anything, you know.
No, I
Uh,
100% agree with that. That healing needs to happen, and it definitely isn't like you were saying. It's definitely not son that's in all like my neighborhood, because like I'm closer to Bushwick, and really at this point, Bushwick is not. I know friends who used to live there and would tell me back in the day, it's
Back
like
in the days, yeah.
back in the day, it was a lot different. Like now, it's really not. There's not a lot of like gang activity type things going on there. But then if you go to like I don't know, like I've been in Brownsville before, and like I know people who have lived out there. Brownsville has like a huge problem with that. It really depends on like what neighborhood you're in,
Yeah,
and
and
you know, crime is definitely it's a big problem in the city. But again, I think censoring the music that expresses it is not really. I don't think it's really gonna solve the problem, because I feel like again, it's like if the if the problem wasn't there, there wouldn't be music about it. So it's like go more to the root of the problem, like you were saying, of why this is happening in these
yeah,
communities, bro. You know,
but also the thing is that Brooklyn used to be dangerous. New York in general, and
yeah,
now Brooklyn. I'm talking about Brooklyn just in general right now. It's not as bad as it used to be. It's rarely bad. Gangs aren't wilding out. Violence isn't that bad.
not like it used to be. No,
It's
not like it used to be.
no, not like it used to be. It's way better. But hip hop, as me talking about being a teen to being a young adult to being an adult, hip hop has a lot to do with the influence of a child's mind. Because we talk a certain way, we start acting a certain way. If Fabio is popping, he's talking about this and that, and the kids are vibing with that, and that's an influence that you want to drive yourself to because that's what's popping. Like back in the days, well, when I remember when I was in school, there used to be gangs just because of gangs, and they'll go around them, and they got the back and this and that. The kids want to join, but then once they join, they're like, you know what, this is whack. As I did see that happen with certain classmates and friends that I had and people that didn't even, it's just the influence that caused a lot of problems in the city. I mean, if it's happening probably in Chicago, I'll be like, damn, yeah, over there's violence. Of course, how they're not going to talk about it. But when it comes to Brooklyn, it's like, it's debatable.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Is like it could in a sense sort of glorify that kind of thing. I think it really depends on like I think with music it really depends on like are you speaking about like those experiences in a sense of glorifying it or in a sense of like creating awareness of it. Because obviously, I mean, I think last time we were talking, I was talking about how I was like very inspired by like Common, by Talib Kweli. I think they very much like speak about shit like that going on in their communities, you know, in Brooklyn and Chicago, respectively, back when they were making music in the 90s. Like, I feel like they were speaking about it more in a conscious sense of like making an awareness of like, you know, these are the issues within the communities, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to glorifying it, I suppose. So,
Yeah.
like,
And also the other
maybe that
thing,
sort of switched, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's really depends on. I think that's really an artist by artist kind of basis. Because I think there's some artists that are like taking a conscious approach to it, but then I guess you know there's also some that may be glorifying that.
because,
Which
for example, when Lil Wayne was popping, he was saying he was blood, and everybody wanted to be a blood. Everyone was saying he
yeah,
was blood, And meanwhile, these artists, I'm not saying Lil Wayne, I'm just saying certain artists nowadays, it's just an image. It's not that they are, and it's not that they are doing certain stuff. It's just an image what they portray. Now you could see the consequences when it's real and when it's not. Because if it was real, then they'll be getting serious consequences like Young Thug is in right now with YSL and Gunna and all these people
so
with
true. Yeah,
years in prison. This is not a game, you
yeah.
know. And when they're sending this message to the kids, it's nothing to be played with.
No, that whole YSL situation is crazy too. Like it really is like it's upsetting to see, but like I don't know. I mean, I've been trying to like research about it, but I don't know the full story with everything behind it. But it's also crazy. Like I guess just like how many people are involved in that because it's like what like 30 members that they're like it's crazy, bro. This shit's wild.
Yeah, that's what I think. To a certain degree, it should be censored when they're talking about killing ops and this and that. Because it's not you're not informing. You're basically telling, "Hey, I'm gonna go murder this person, or I murder that person, or influencing riots and all this other stuff." Like there's other ways of actually getting stuff done than committing violence. Because, like for example, I believe when the whole BLM march happened, a lot of people doing riots, and now people are getting arrested for the things they were doing. And I'm not saying that that's what the that's what the movement was about. It's just that some people were doing this these acts, and now you're getting time. And you
No,
know,
yeah, 100%. I mean, it definitely can influence the community 100%. I get what you're saying with that, man, for sure.
yeah, I'm
For
not
sure.
saying that the movement was part of that. No, there's good apples and there's bad apples. You got to know how to
Yeah, good and bad
differentiate.
apples, for sure, man. No, for sure.
Is it
For
true,
sure.
man? I'm not. I don't know, man. It's just I'm getting older and I want to have family and probably have kids and whatnot. I gotta look out for mine. I'm not a youngster anymore. And I probably when I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, man. You're living life and you're going wild and this and that. You really don't think things through. But when you get older, you're like, yeah, maybe that wasn't the right move. Maybe
I,
it's getting older or what it is.
I always thought that like hip hop was very much like music of the youth in a sense, but I find that like as I'm getting older making music, and I find that like as the artists that I like are getting older too, and seeing what they're doing, I feel like there's always like something to talk about. Like I got this song on the upcoming EP that I'm working on. It's gonna be called The Gentle and the Jovial. That's the EP. It's a lot more sounds a lot more breezy and relaxed than like other songs I've made in the past. It's a lot more like tranquil, I guess, in a sense. It's speaking to a lot of peace that I've found recently, a lot of joy that I've experienced recently, and it's expressing that. And I have one song on it, the outro, which is like the title track, is just about like I don't know, like me sort of thinking about like the day that I have a son, like what is that experience gonna feel like for me? If I were to put myself in like that situation, like really imagine it at this point in my life. And so I feel like there's always things to write about. Or I look at artists like Jay-Z, right? Like Atmosphere, like Black Thought, Logic, maybe, like artists that, have families now and sort of, or even Pusha T had a kid, right? And he spoke about that on his recent album. I really like that project. But it's like I feel like as you get older, there's other things to speak on. Maybe it's more mature. Maybe it's not like
Yeah.
ignorant shit that you were speaking on when you were younger. You know what I
And I
mean?
think it also depends on the OGs, and the parents teaching
Yeah,
these young men as well. Like, hey, this is wrong. But even when you're young, though, you won't listen to anyone. So it's kind of funny. But at least having someone there to
yeah,
teach them, guide them.
yeah. I feel like at a young age, like people, and that's how I was when I was young too. I was like, I'm not gonna listen to anybody because I'm so
Of
fucking
course.
rebellious. It's like I think my music still has a rebellious quality to it, but now I feel like the approach it's taken is a lot more mature than I was doing, and it's crazy that I feel like if you listen to like, which I mean, you probably have, listened to like a lot of my music early and now, and
Right.
it's like crazy to. I look back on certain things. I'm like, it's crazy to see the maturity that I've kind of displayed through music, not just artistically, but just like in what I'm saying, in how I'm approaching these things. Like, I don't know. People always like that have listened to my music for a while and then listen to new shit. Always talk about growth. That's
Yeah.
the word they use a lot: growth and progression. And I see it, man. Like for me, I feel like my progression is very similar to. I'm super inspired by Tyler the Creator because he's always trying new things, and I love that. And I just love his creativity as an artist, man. But I feel like he has a similar thing where you can see over time the maturity of his music, not only in how he's executing it, but sort of like the approach he's taken to what he's talking about, to what he's speaking on.
And don't get
And
me wrong, though. We need a balance. We need a party shit and we need a cash shit. But there's a certain degree where you gotta stop bullshitting with people if you're not doing none of these stuff because you're just influencing the youth if you're not living it, you're not doing it. Which
yeah,
is also, I don't know, it's debatable because then you're just snitching on yourself.
wait,
But
what's that
why?
do with
But
Tyler though? What's that do
huh?
with Tyler though?
Huh?
Because you're talking about Tyler the Creator. I don't feel like you talk about that. Tyler doesn't really talk about shit like that.
No, I'm not talking about Tyler Creator. I'm talking about the topic of right now. I'm talking about the other stuff and whatnot. Tyler Creator is cool. I like Tyler Creator. He's just wow. You expect the
No, he is,
unexpected with
bro. He
Tyler.
is. Yeah. I really feel like I get inspired. It's unfortunate because sometimes I feel like I record certain tracks and I get in like a low raspy voice, and after I'm like, nah, we have to redo it. And my engineer's like, wow. I'm like, it sounds too much like Tyler. Like sometimes I feel like when I rap because I listen to him, like sometimes you listen to artists so much that as you're recording music, you realize like, oh no, wait, I sound too much like them. But I
Yeah.
feel like I found different voices I use that kind of sound sort of just like me, maybe inspired by other artists and how they deliver their vocals, but like at the end of the day, it's me kind of, like I have this one friend Jay who's a great rapper, but sometimes we record some songs and I was like, bro, that sounds like ASAP Rocky, and he's like, you're right, let's redo it. But he's
Yeah.
awesome. You know, I worked with him on Serve. I worked with him on Ability. You know, I'm always trying to collaborate with artists I found talented. Like collaboration is probably my favorite part of this. And I feel like when you bring in other artists, not only are they trying new things, you're trying new things too, because you're trying to like see like, you know, what inspiration do they bring to a song? How do you in turn get inspired by that? How do they in turn like get inspired by um, you know, working with you? Like I have this one friend, you know, Kendall, rapper named Kendall. I put on multiple songs,
Mhm.
singing or rapping. But rapping wasn't really his thing at first, but then I would send him certain songs, he'd be like, I want to rap on this. I was like, go for it. And he
Yeah.
started rapping. It was awesome, man. It's like, you know, so it's cool to. I love collaboration. It's my favorite part of it. Whether I'm on someone else's song or they're on mine, like that's my favorite part of it. Is
Nah,
really
collaborating is the important part of being an artist as well, because the more people that, let's say, their people know about, their people hear the music because they know him, then now they know about you, and now they become your fans too.
yeah. Well, it's that aspect of it which is cool. You know, expanding the audience, expanding the network. For me, it's more so like, man, I don't give a fuck if someone has like 0 Spotify plays. Like if I fuck with their sound, I
Yeah,
want to put them on something I'm doing, or I want to be on something they're doing. Like I don't really, I don't, I don't do like at this point. I'm not doing this to be like, how many clicks am I gonna get? How many likes am I gonna get? How many plays am I gonna get? How you know how far can I push this?
yeah, because then it just becomes like a job. It doesn't. It's not
Yeah,
fun anymore.
and I don't want my passion to be that. I want it to stay as a passion. I want it to stay as like a, you know, I'm just focused on creating the best art I can, executing it in the best way I can. And from that, I find that it's just I just get a lot more joy out of it. I think that the music comes off a lot more authentic when I'm doing it that way. I think like for the people that do hear it, I think that it is something that they're like, you know, this feels very authentic and this resonates because of that.
Hmm.
You know, like you could very much tell the artist where I think there's some artists in the mainstream that like I'm like, no, like they're doing what they want to do the way they want to do it. It just so happens that it's catchy, that
Yeah,
is has mass appeal. But there's definitely some that I'm like,
go
nah, I
for it,
can
yeah,
tell you're doing this strictly like you strictly wanted this to be a hit single and you made it formulaic in that sense.
yeah. Hey
I
man,
don't like
the call may drop like in a minute, so I might have to start it up and give you the link again.
yeah, that's all good, man. I mean, did you have like a lot of other questions and stuff or like
Oh yeah, for sure. We're just getting started.
okay, yeah. Oh yeah, no, let's get into
It's been
it.
a minute, man. It's been a
Hell
long minute.
well, I haven't seen. I've seen like clips of your interviews, like on Instagram, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen like the full ones. So I don't know how long you usually do these ones. What do you do, like an hour or something? I'm
Yeah,
chilling. I'm
yeah,
good.
an hour, man. Well, it depends too how much how long the conversation actually lasts. But it's been a minute, man. There's a lot to catch
That's
up
all I'm
on.
talking about. That's true, man. That's valid. That's valid, man.
Unless if you have something to do, then we
No,
could.
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. It's Saturday. I'm lazy today. I'm chilling, bro. I'm just
Nah, I
vibing out.
feel you, man. That's
Yeah.
cool. Art we got in the background, man.
Yeah. So this is actually like one of my favorite shows, Midnight Gospel, that like also really inspired me when I was making What Am I to Do. I was watching this show a lot during that time, and it's like very inspirational to me musically. It has been for a long time.
It
It's
reminds
all,
me of something Chris Brown would make. To be honest with you.
yeah, man. All right, this shit about to end. Send me that new
Yeah.
link, boy. Can you see me right now? I can't even see myself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I see
Yeah,
you, bro.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah. I see
that's
you.
so weird. All
So
right,
yeah, man.
what were you saying? What was the question, boss? What's up?
Oh no, I was just talking about the artwork they had there back there. I was like, oh, it looks like something Chris Brown would make. I was like, I love that.
Yeah, nah, hell yeah, man. Yeah.
But yeah, bro. Well, tell me, man, why haven't you done so many? I mean, you've done a lot of music. Don't get me wrong, but I haven't seen any video work behind it.
Any what? Like any
Video work, meaning music videos.
oh music videos? That's a good question, man. Um, I just find that like my you know it's really I guess an issue of like looking to like partner with people because I feel like um for me like I've always been very creative like in an auditory sense where like I can sort of make arrangements for songs. You know, I could figure out like how I want certain tracks to flow and certain vocals to sound, right? Like I'm very creative in that sense, but like I can never really come up with like visually how I want something to look. Like I know there's some people that like listen to songs and they're like, this would be the music video.
Right.
I've never really been like that, so it's tough for me to like think about it like that. So I guess like I would be looking to partner with someone, but it's also like tough because I feel like music videos take so much time to kind of put together. You know what I mean? Like it'd be tough to kind of get, you know, what we need together for that sort of thing. But I'm not opposed to doing music videos. I mean, I've had friends that have like had ideas for it, and we've been like, yeah, that's cool. And unfortunately, it just never really gets executed, or like the production never really happens for it. But we, you know, people that I'm close with have definitely had ideas when they hear songs like, oh, shoot this, we do that. I'm like, maybe. So, you know, maybe in the future I will be doing some music videos. You know, if I find the right people to partner with for it, you know, but it's not really my thing creatively. It's more so something I'd want a different creative director for, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad you understand it because a lot of artists, see, I was doing music videos, right? I was in the whole music video world, production world. And most artists been like, well, it's just a music video, like, let's get it done fast, fast, fast. I'm like, yo, bro, it takes time. They don't understand
Right.
how long it takes to edit a music video or put different effects and this and that. It's not easy. It takes a lot. It's a lot of work, you know.
Oh no, yeah, it's very time consuming, man. You know, a lot goes into that type of shit. Not just filming, but editing too takes so much time.
For me,
Um,
filming is like the easiest part. Editing is
yeah,
the hard part because you have to go clip by clip and this and that. It's a lot.
it's tough, man. No, that's for sure, dude. That's for sure. But I'm not opposed to like doing one in the future, maybe, man. You know, I gotta see what's good. Like, there's definitely a few songs that I'm like, I don't know, like "Feeling Myself" would have a cool music video.
Hmm.
The Sun Shows would probably have a cool music video. Like, I don't know, maybe one for like DWN
Or
or
serve.
I don't know. Serve would have a cool music video, I guess, because
Hey,
you could sort of have it where it's like a party
yeah.
type of music video in the beginning with me and JSV, and then maybe like at the end, I don't know, it's, you know, the whole beat and vibe switches to something a little bit more like sinister
It's a dub,
and
bro.
yeah, and depressing and shit. Maybe like the video will switch like that, but I wouldn't know how to do that. You know what I mean? But that might be a cool one to do a video for. Those are some of my like most popular songs, I guess.
Yeah, man, it'd be cool as I did, you know, like you're partying and all that, and then you go back home and you face reality, and then you're stuck with your thoughts again. Like, boom. It's like it's just a quick. I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say it. It's like I see it in my head,
Yeah,
and I want to say it, but it's just like a quick summary, you know, like you're vibing all that, partying all that, but then you know how to say like the happiest people being the most depressed people, and you don't even know it.
yeah.
Yeah, that type of personality, vibe, and all that comes home, face reality, stuck with his demons, and now dealing with all these things. I don't know. Just an idea. Throwing that out there.
No, that might be shit. I mean, bro, let's see if we work on one. Maybe let's hit me up. We might do something with that.
For sure. I mean, I'm
You
down,
know what I
man.
mean? Maybe.
Right now, I'm just chilling, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, if you ever want to do one, let me know. Anyone watching this, if you if you got music video ideas, let me know. I'm open to it. I'm just not the guy for it, but let me know.
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll probably write a whole script and I'll let you know how it goes, and you let me know if you're even interested in whatnot, and we get it
Yeah.
done.
No, that'd be solid. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I did one for Jay the Beast Slayer. I'm trying to see if anyone that I've done a music video for, you know. Well, I don't even know if you know them because the only time I met you like that in person was over there in Queens, and that was only Zeke. But I haven't talked to Zeke in a minute,
Hmm.
a long ass minute. I
Yeah.
think it was the last time. After that day, yeah, it was the longest time because not for nothing, but his book is well a little bit too pricey for me at
Yeah.
the time. Yeah, I know.
I mean, Zeke is cool, man, because he's really trying to. I feel like bring a lot of artists together in Queens and obviously in Long Island too, and in Brooklyn. He's really trying to bring people from other places together. And B Good's really doing a similar thing now when it comes to the shows he's putting together in Long Island. Like I was very lucky to have worked with him on the Sun shows. You know, from that track, like I remember seeing or hearing one of his songs called A1, and I like sent it over to him, and I was like, you know, this one real sunshine type of vibe, you know,
Mhm.
real chill track. Got a nice little soul sample on it from the '70s that my roommate actually put together, and yeah, I mean he loved it, and it was crazy that he sang on it too because I didn't know he sang at the time.
Mhm.
Like I only heard him rapping, so when he was like, you know, bodying those vocals, I was like, what? I didn't expect that, but it was a solid verse. So it was cool. And you know, we did that song live, Velvet Lounge in Long Island and shit. And that's when I met a lot of artists that I've worked with since then. I met Vinny, goes under QV. You know, he sang on DWN. I met, you know, Ty the Truth, who I've been on a lot of his songs. He's been on Animalistic with me. You know, I met Abstract, who's B Good's cousin, one of the best rappers I know, and he was on Animalistic too, man. And he's nuts with how talented he is. So it's crazy. Like doing these shows, you meet a lot of people and you network with a lot of people, and I feel like that's when the collaboration aspect of it happens, which is cool. So it's cool to see that there's people who are artists themselves wanting to bring those communities together. You know what I mean? I'm considering doing that sort of thing. Is I want to start putting shows together where like we're getting people from Long Island, we're getting people from Brooklyn, since I know artists from both, and since you know I've lived in both communities and shit, and I got people in Manhattan too that I know. I kind of want to just bring all those communities together, have just one big show with them. So I'm trying to see if I can plan that, man. You know, that's my goal, really. That's
Hey,
something I
man,
want to
if
do.
you ever need media, I'm down, man. I bring AcapellicTV down there.
I'm gonna hit you up, man. I'm gonna hit you up for like posters, whatever, like film, like yeah. I'm gonna hit you up for that, man. I'll let you know. I'm planning it right now, but
For sure, man. You just let me know. Say the word and it's done, man. It's on
yeah.
the house.
Well, I just gotta contact some people, some different venues and shit. But I gotta see, man. It's definitely something like I aspire to do for the future is like bring those communities together. Because again, like I've collaborated with a lot of artists that are either from Long Island, that are from Brooklyn, that are from Manhattan, wherever, man. You know, so I feel like by hitting them out, like by hitting all of them up, we could put something together, like a showcase. So
For sure, man.
you
I
know,
fuck
I'm
it. I'll be a
considering.
sponsor. I don't care.
Hell yeah,
If you
hell
need
yeah, bro.
somebody else, you know, as a business partner, whatever the case may be, whatever, I'm down. When it comes to
Yeah.
the artists and helping artists, yeah, fuck it, I'm down.
Well, I just also want to bring a lot of LI artists out here because I know in that community it's really tough with hip hop shows because it's like there's not as like heavily of a desire to hear that in that community. But if you go to Brooklyn, I mean, it's like huge out here. And Manhattan
Yeah,
is huge, right? Because I mean, you're talking about Bronx is really the birthplace of hip hop and shit. So you're talking about like some boroughs where a lot of it started. You know, a lot of the biggest artists come from, that type of shit. So that's really why, because I know there's a lot of talent in LA, like I mentioned before. That's why I really want to bring them out here. You know what I'm saying, and perform with them type shit.
for sure, man. You just say the word, whatever you
Yeah,
need, I'm down.
hell yeah, dude, hell yeah.
But that's what's up, man. So now I wanted to talk about how you still performing live, correct?
Yeah, man. I mean, not as often, but occasionally. I mean, again, Be Good books me for a lot of shows in Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some in Brooklyn. I'm trying to do more in Brooklyn though. But yeah, I still do live shows. I love doing live shows, man. Love it.
The one who could, I could probably hit up Jay. He knows a couple people who was booking artists out here in New York. He just moved to Miami, but he knows a couple people down here. If you want, I could put you in contact with them to go, get you out here in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that'd be sick, man. That'd be really sick. I mean, yeah. I mean, again, shout out to Zeke too. Like I was, you know, he's always invited me to shit because he likes the energy I bring. He likes the crowd I bring for that type of shit.
Mhm.
So I might try to see if he's got something in Queens again too. But shout out to him. He's always putting together cool shows. Um, I like doing those back in the day. And I feel like I'd pull up with some better songs now too. I feel like now I'd be like, nah, wait, I got a lot
Yeah,
of really good songs now. Let me fucking
for sure.
not that the songs then weren't good, but I feel like now it's like
It's on another level, man.
yes, exactly. Like my ability as a songwriter, as someone like producing music too, executing it, like has just improved a lot where I'm like, I would really love to present that to some people, man. It's crazy with my dad too, because my dad played that a drum outros on DWN, and the drums
Hmm.
are going at the very end of it. So
Yeah,
my dad was playing that one because I got him an electronic drum kit because he used to play back in the day, and like it
damn,
was
it's
really at a
crazy.
point where I was like, I felt like I could tell he needed a hobby, man. I could tell he needed something to do, and I was like, I know this was something that he used to do a lot, so we got him that, and I showed him the song and he really wanted to play on it, and he did like some like because he's really into Genesis and Phil Collins and shit. So he did some like Phil Collins style. Like I think about the song, what is it, In the Air Tonight with the bum 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 drum fill. I
Yeah.
feel like he did something a little bit similar to that, but his own rhythm with it at the end of it. So, but it's crazy to see because I remember showing my dad songs back in the day, and he just kind of didn't get like. It's not that he didn't get it, but he would kind of be like, "Why does it sound like you recorded this with like a fucking like potato? Like, why does it sound like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
live mic because I didn't really know how to record shit back then. You know, my friends were kind of just getting into it too, so like they would help, but they were still just learning. Now, when I would show him songs like DWN, he would like really be like, "I get the vision."
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I remember too when to record my
Yeah,
own stuff.
I see it really
Fucking
execute.
stressful, bro. Don't know how to mix and master. You're just learning how to record, be on tempo. Oh my fucking god, man. Good days though. You get to go back and remember like, oh, I remember when I first started this and that. Cause a lot of people they want to start off in a studio. Before they like, how can you start a run before learning how to crawl? You got to start somewhere. When you have nothing and your phone is the only thing you got, and you can record on it, and
Do some voice notes, bro, and like the app and shit. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Nah, I'm glad that my music kind of started like that because I feel like at the time that I had access to really good production and really good mixing with the people I was working with, I feel like because I was recording songs at a lower level for so long, I just learned how to perform better in the studio. Where like once like again, I see What Am I to Do as my magnum opus because everything just came together well. I was like at this point I'm performing shit a lot better vocally in what I'm writing and how I'm messing around with vocals. Like what if we did some whispery shit on the Why Do We track? What if we did what if we did more of a nasally voice on the Hey Jolie song, right? Like I feel like at that point that was coming together and the production was coming together. You know what I mean? So I'm like you were saying, I'm glad I was crawling before I was walking, before I was running, you know?
Mhm.
Like I'm glad to have seen it in that sense for sure.
Yeah.
And
Because imagine not knowing how to even rap on a microphone or how to even listen to yourself on a
yeah.
headset, and you just go into the mic. And, I mean, into the actual studio. Now you just lost probably like $500, $1,000 because you didn't know how to get used to hearing yourself, how to get used to
Yeah.
using your voice. It's not easy.
Yeah, man, I used to make even production like bro, I used to make beats on like just with fucking GarageBand loops.
I started
Like
with Fruity Loops, bro.
like yeah, just like some shitty ass little loops and then I realized like I started meeting other musicians and I was like I could just collaborate with them and like you know put together some ideas with them.
Mhm.
It'll sound a lot better production wise as far as the beats go. Like I will say though, the one of the tracks from Post Morbid Celebration, Get Up, that's literally just GarageBand loops, which is crazy because I'll send to people to be like, this sounds so cool. I mean, it's different from anything I've done. It's like a very like dance track type of thing. But they're like, this sounds really good. I'm like, bro, that's all loops. That's one of the rare cases where like GarageBand loops actually sound kind of good together. Like, but again, I think it's because I knew how to execute it better at that point. But that's the thing.
At the
Sometimes
time.
like sometimes simple is better. I mean, it depends, man. For that song, it was cool to put together because I was really just trying to be like, what can I make that's so different from anything I've made that people just like we were talking about Tyler the Creator before, right? Like I was like, what can I make that people are gonna be like, I didn't expect this from Mute. Like when people heard Flower Boy and they're like, I didn't expect this from Tyler. I like the artists that always involve and try different shit. Like I
Right.
like NARD and Pharrell for that too. I love or Busta Rhymes always trying different shit. Love Busta Rhymes, man, for sure.
Yeah, because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you own you.
Facts,
You know what I
facts.
mean? Nobody can really duplicate what you do or duplicate Mute the Messiah. Mute the Messiah is Mute the Messiah. Like for a second, I thought you were, going to rock because you had that whole vibe to your music. And now with this project, I see you went back into the hip hop sound.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of, I think with each of my projects, there's always like one or two songs that really incorporate rock in some way because, growing up, I was really a part of that scene. Like, I really
Of course.
loved rock music. That was my two favorite things, rap and rock. I love that shit.
No, but
And,
rock back then was popping, bro.
oh, yeah. No, in the 90s or like early 2000s, there's so much good rock music, man. I
Hell
still,
yeah.
yeah. And even like when I was doing shows early on, I mean, bro, like, again, there's not a huge hip hop scene where I was from. But they saw I had a lot of energy. They saw I was incorporating aggressive vocals or guitars or heavy drums and a lot of what I was doing. And they put me on rock shows, bro. They put me on shows of metal bands. Like they were like, you're gonna be the one
Yeah.
hip hop act tonight, but fuck it, bro. Like go up there, do your thing. And like, I bodied it. It was fun. I mean, I rocked the house, bro. That's it. And again, like even now, like DWN, has some rock influence to it. When I made Post Morbid, you have songs like the Boss Bitch cover that had guitars on it. You know, we did it like a cyberpunk style thing, Doja Cat cover, right? You got songs like Worms, screaming my brains, I was buried with the worms, you know, fucking screaming my brains off on it. You got songs like Feeling Myself that have a little rock influence, you know, like even What Am I to Do? You have songs like I Don't Know Anymore, where we're bringing in elements of guitar, we're putting together basically a rock song. There's not even actually, yeah, there's not even rapping on that song. That one's just a rock song. Like I feel like every project I like to have, you know, one or two songs with an element of that, you know, because that's a big influence of mine. Even with this new one, again, it's going to be very laid back. It's going to be very breezy. It's going to be very like tranquil sounding. But there is one song that has this rock outro that my friend Magic Power, shout out to him, put together. That's going to be like, you know, very, very intense, a very nice build up to it. So even with that, you know, even with my most, what I would say is going to end up being my most laid back project, we're still putting elements of that in it because I love rock music, man. For sure.
Oh damn! So you have a lot of music in the works, and it's about to drop.
Yeah, I mean, with this one, we got a lot of different ideas. I mean, this project is I mean, you know, I'm working on a new track would be good for it because a very, again, breezy sounding song. You know, I put out the single Might Be that's very funk based. We're gonna put that one on it too. You know, there's one song that I really like that's sort of sampling Aphex Twins. Very, you know, gentle. It's a very gentle project, right? It's a very gentle piano melody to it. Like as an interlude, I'm just kind of rapping on that. It's very minimal, right? Not a lot of drums, not a lot of bass. Kind of just this piano that I'm rapping over. You know, I guess sort of like Kendrick's doing with his new shit.
Is it gonna be as creative as your new single might be? Where you know you say you could be my Amber, that shit's on my bed. That shit was hilarious. I was dying, bro. I was like, yo, bro, you wild.
I think that's from it, bro. Because when I dropped that shit, or like when I was working on it, and like people were in the room as I was recording it, everyone was like, "Bro, the Amber Heard line, that shit."
Yeah. I was dying, bro. I was like, yo, music's going wild on this, bro.
Well, I mean, look, man, it's based on true stories. I mean, I was going on a lot of dates with people, and I just felt like every date I went on, there were little things that I was like, you know, like red flags I'm seeing, and I was sort of in this place, like, you know, I thought she might be the one, now she's not. It's a cycle, man. I want to make something like that, but I want to make it really fun. You know, I want to make
that
it.
That shit was hilarious, bro. I was dying. I was like, yo, and mainly because that whole case was like something big. It was on it for almost like, it felt like a month. It was only what, like a week or two.
For how long it's been out, or
no, I'm talking about like just the influence that, you know, of using the Amber Heard shit on my bed. It had to happen because, you know, the whole case was on like for I think a week or two televised, and then so much information was going on, coming out every single day. It was crazy, man. It felt like an entire month.
I didn't keep like, you know, close in the loop. I heard little things about the case. I didn't keep like very close in the loop with that, but I will say, like, when I was hearing about him being like, yeah, and she shit in my bed, I just thought that was so funny. I was like, I gotta, because again, the song's about like, it's just about like a crazy, like just meeting crazy women. You're like, I don't want that smoke, right? Like, and there's crazy guys too. There's crazy guys too, but it's like, I mean, even the first verse was like the craziest story to me, man, because it was like I was going on a date with this woman who was Latina, and like she was driving me back from the date, and as I went in the car, she had like, again, this is a story I kind of tell in the verse, but this is like the full story here. Like she had like a baby seat in the car, so like I was, you know, I was like, oh, what's the baby seat for? I didn't say anything, like I didn't assume anything, but I was like, what's that for? She's like, oh, she's like, it's my nieces and nephews, you know, don't worry, I don't have babies. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me if you did. But she was saying, she's like, yeah, like I'm on a date with this one guy, and I said to him, she was like, you know, I wanted to see how he would react. So I said, yeah, I got a kid. I'm a mom, right? A single mom. And this guy was like real fucking like racist there. Like he was like, oh, Tina's always looking for baby daddies type shit. Like I'm not gonna be that. And she was mad. I was like, and I said to her, I'm like, I get why you're mad. Like that's stereotyping. That's not right. You know, you shouldn't be saying that about people like that. That's fucked up. Bro, literally within like 20, like 10 minutes of driving, we started talking about her neighborhood, Cypress Hill. I was like, that's cool that you're out there. She's like, yeah, it's just like, there's a lot of black people out there. I was like, what's wrong with that? And she's like, it's just like, they're all like ghetto, man. And I was like, that's a deal breaker for me right there. I don't fuck with racist girls, no. I don't.
Oh, no.
I didn't say to her, like, I kind of went back in my apartment because she drove me back, but I messaged her like, hey, you know, I don't think we're going on another date. But I
Oh
just
no,
found this
man.
like conversation so interesting. I was like, this woman really just got mad that a man like stereotyped her, and like minutes later, she's saying all black people are ghetto. That's a little fucked up. Like, I just think that it's sad to see communities of people like get stereotyped, but then stereotype other communities. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, there's hypocrisy in like getting mad at that, but then doing the same thing to a different community, man. It's or saying the same thing. Like, so that's why I thought it'd be like an interesting little kind of funny, kind of fucked up story to put in a song, you know. But yeah, I mean, shit like that's a deal breaker for me. Obviously, shit in the bed, that's a deal breaker. Like, you know,
Nah,
it's
man. But you're right though. You know that is a deal breaker because at the end of the day, it's like I don't know. You know, I think the more you get older, the more insane you become. But I don't know. I guess some people are a little bit different. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
But
I were you, if you're gonna be dating Latinos, bro, I'm praying for you, man.
yeah, no, I'm
I'm
not
praying
crazy,
for you, man.
bro. Like, it's
They tell you
and again,
themselves they're
I'm
fucking crazy, bro.
yeah, and again, it's like I'm looking for wifey type shit. So it's like I don't want to have a family with somebody that like hates black people or any kind of people really.
Of course.
Like that shit's a deal breaker for you, man. You know, it's so you know, I thought it'd be an interesting little story to. I was kind of at a point where I was like, I have all these funny date stories. It would just be really entertaining to put it in a song, man. But and I was super inspired by like Anderson .Paak for the sound of that song. I love what he's doing. I'm super inspired by like Babytron. I don't know if you know Babytron. He's very new, but
No.
he's got a weird flow, man. He's got a weird off kilter Detroit style flow that I was like, I want to try something kind of, you know, unheard of like that, like something kind of, you know, uncommon like that, the way he's doing it. So, you know, I like what he's doing. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's creative. I like what he's doing.
No, I don't know, man. But I'm gonna have to get back into the whole hip hop scene. What's going on? What's hot? What's making noise right now? Because I've been away for a minute, to be honest with you. I just been on my country shit, on my rock shit, on my soul
That's a
shit.
vibe, bro. That's a vibe.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been away from rap for a minute. Because I started listening to your music and Patriots music and Jay the Beast Players music, but I just listen to the guys who I like that I interview, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really haven't listened to anything. I just heard Drake dropped a new album, but really I got no idea
That's not
what's
even a
it
rap
about.
album, bro. The new Drake album is like it's a dance album, but like it's not even like
Really?
I say to people all the time, like there's a new I think dance music is and club music is really coming back, which is why I was happy that I was doing it back in 2021 with the song Get Up, that I was doing a dance song. Because now that's coming back, I kind of be like, look, bro, I was a year ahead on this, all right? But also, like I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, you guys talking about Drake's album, Beyonce put out a better dance song and dance album, Gorillaz put out a dance song that was better too, you know, with Cracker Island, with Thundercat. If you want to hear new dance songs, there's no shortage of it. You know, Megan Thee Stallion put out one too. Drake's not. I don't like the way Drake's doing it. It's like not. It's like very boring to me. The music.
Honestly, I think rap. I mean, they said it a long time ago, but I think this time it's actually gonna die. I think it's the same thing that happened to rock is gonna happen. I mean, the same thing that happened to rock is gonna happen to hip hop. To be honest with you, I haven't heard anyone make any noise like that from hip hop besides 6ix9ine and the whole little Dirk King Von thing, and now that Quando Rondo got shot up and his friend died, but you just hear a lot of just noise, but nothing about their music or whatnot.
That whole situation with all those guys was just sad because it's like I know 6ix9ine had a song where he was saying something about like King Von on a track or whatever, and it's like I don't know. That shit's kind of fucked up, man. I was thinking back to a song I made when I made Ability. I had this line about like Pop Smoke. How like when I hear Pop Smoke's music, like I don't know, bro, it gets me like hyped up. It makes me. I don't really be fighting people, but something about it, like if I hear it in the gym, it makes me high key want to fight people. I'm like, it just gives me a lot of adrenaline. So I was rapping about that on a song, but then after we made the song, like he died type shit, and I was debating putting it out because I was like, I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I don't want people to think that I'm not. I'm saying like I'm not a fan. It's like no, I am a fan. I'm just saying what his music makes me want to do because because it gets me hyped up. I
Yeah,
listen to it in the gym all the time, bro. If I'm doing like boxing, I listen to it in the gym. Like, but I was debating that for a while. Luckily, I don't think anybody took it the wrong way. I think they knew what I meant because a lot of people would hit me up and be like, "Yeah, man, when I hear Pop Smoke, I start doing push-ups too. I start boxing too." I'm like, valid, but you know, I never like I just didn't want it to seem disrespectful because I love his music. I love what he did for like the community. I love what he. Uh, I just think that he brought something to hip hop that it needed at the time that it was lacking, and I think for the popularity of like drill music for the UK and for Brooklyn, like he
Yeah.
just did so much for that, and
I mean,
it's crazy his influence.
I'm
It's
gonna
and
sound a little bit
he would have done so much
hypocritical
more if
right
he didn't
now.
die.
Huh?
He would have done so much more if he didn't die. I feel that way about him. I feel that way about XXX. Like they would have there was so much potential there, all like untapped. As popular as they were, as much as they did, there was so much more they were gonna do. It's unfortunate. Like
I don't know about Pop, but XXXTentacion, yeah, I think he would have gone far.
hmm.
But Pop, I don't know. I think King Von would have gone far. I fuck with
I
King
think he
Von.
would have too. No, I think he would have too, man. I mean, that's it's the unfortunate thing. There's a lot of great artists like that. That I mean, again, you hear with Mac Miller too. You hear an album
Oh
like
yeah,
what's the one that came out after? It was like in Circles or Circles, right? So many good tracks on that. That luckily, you know, the producers who finished it did a really good job. But again, to even see the potential of what he was doing right before he died, you know, and the fact that it was so different from what he previously done, like you know, there was so much more that he was gonna do, which is unfortunate. You know,
yeah.
it's
No,
sad.
Mac Miller was talented as fuck, man.
Yeah, I love
That's
Mac. I
one.
really do.
Hell yeah.
Like, definitely an
Musically as
inspiration of
well.
mine. I mean, not as heavily as some other artists, but there have been times that I listen to a Mac song and I do just start writing just because I'm inspired by it. Like, you know, I mean, H9 to me, she's a very talented rapper that I've put on songs before. She's like a young Mac Miller to me, bro. I mean, you know, she's really. I mean, I think she's doing her own thing with it, but I think she's really got potential to be at his level one day for sure. Like, shout out to her. You know, she's good.
Damn, but and Mac Miller did everything, right? He produced, he recorded, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, every and again, you know, we were talking about Tyler, how every album's different, and that's inspiring. Every Mac Miller album is different too, man.
Hell yeah.
Sonically, you know what he's saying, what he's doing, how he's executing it. Like again, that's I think that aspect of Mac Miller's discography inspires me more than the music itself. The fact that it's always changing inspires me because I do that with every project. I'm like, I want this to be different than another project. You know, like I want there to be variety to my shit, and it's
Hell yeah.
because I like so much different music that I don't want to stick to one thing because that gets me bored. You know, because I'm like, nah, well, I like a little bit of this. I also like a little bit of that. You know, it's like cooking, right? You mix together different ingredients, type shit, different seasoning, and then you make your own new thing with it.
Yeah, you could
You
tell the
know?
difference, you know, when you're that creative, you're a creative genius, and you make your own music. Than when you're just a cookie cutter artist, where they're just
Yeah,
telling you rap this and rap that, make this and make that. You know, you probably vibe to it today or a week, but then after that, you just like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. I want to the next artist. But something like that, like a Mac Miller, that's timeless, bro.
well, that's why I feel like my song that one of my songs that kind of accomplishes that the most. I think is probably "Feeling Myself" when I worked with CJ from school
Mhm.
and Keno and Magic Powers playing the trumpets on that shit. Because we really combined like so many. Like I don't know any rap song that sounds like that. The fact that we did an interpolation of a Beyonce song on
Mhm.
a song with like these like I don't know what I'll call them, punk or Latin style guitars, right? We're adding trumpets to it, right? We're adding CJ doing like his emo vocals. We're adding me, you know, rapping, you know, rapid fire. We're adding Kendall kind of bringing these like, you know, rap reggae sounding vocals because he's very much inspired by reggae music and he used to do that shit in a band. And we were just bringing so many elements together. I was worried when making it. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out because we're bringing a lot of things together. I was like, we're either going to make something really original and unique sounding here, or it's going to be just a mess, or it's going to sound like you're putting fucking guacamole on top of ice cream on top of hot sauce. But
Yeah.
somehow everything came together so good. And to this day, people are like, that's one of my favorite songs from you. To this day, it's one of my most streamed,
Yeah.
like out of all my songs. And I feel like I say it's my favorite song because lyrically, I think it states, you know, the whole meaning behind Mute the Messiah and why I started this because lyrically it's me saying like, you know, look at where I've been, you know, mentally, look at where I'm at now. in a happier place, in a more thriving place, really feeling myself, right? Overcoming things that people might have said about me, like overcoming things I might have experienced that put my mind in a negative place, and it's really just embodying that lyrically. And Keno and CJ also did. Well, I wrote the hook for CJ, but Keno also did a good job embodying that, right? And so again, I think it embodies the creativity I have of putting different elements of different genres together, but also the thematically, like what Meet the Messiah represents is in that song. So that's my favorite song of all time with me. I'd say hands down that one. I mean, DWN's up there too. Fucking Serve is up there. Like Bright Beginnings is definitely up there. I think that song's really important. But Feeling Myself is probably my favorite song.
For me personally, man, it's Frostbite. It's just
Frostbite, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be for me. Now when they introduced a Serenity, I love it, man.
Frostbite was really like, we wanted it to build up in a certain way because I love the instrumental, how they're like, as you listen to it, there's little elements that are thrown in there that make it build up, that like are kind of subtle, where you definitely feel it building up, but it's not as obvious, So vocally, like what I wanted to do was have that build up, and I felt like the story I was telling on it progressed in that way, eventually getting to a point where I'm making this powerful statement of being like, like I don't need somebody to be happy, In the beginning of the song, there's a progression where I guess I'm sort of talking about how lost I'm feeling, how lonely I'm feeling, how confused I'm feeling at what this person might have done to like disconnect with me in a sense when I thought something was there. And like, but again, with that EP, the whole goal was we wanted to be empowering. So I wanted people to hear that song and be like, oh yeah, I'm going through a similar thing. I like this person. It didn't work out. Like, I was very confused on why it didn't work out. And I'm in this confused and lonely place now too. But I want to build up in this powerful statement of like, I'm going to choose myself. I'm going to find my own happiness with myself. Because you can't search for love. You can't search for things like that. You're not ready to experience either the love or the heartbreak of going out after that until you love yourself, until you're happy and content with being yourself.
I had to learn it the hard way, man.
I did too, and that's what that song's about, man. I mean, it was a difficult lesson, bro, and that's sort of what I'm embodying in the beginning of this, a difficult lesson. But getting to that at the end of the song felt empowering.
You fucking killed it, man.
It does feel empowering to be at that point. And again, I wanted people to feel that way when they heard it. I want them to be like, even if I'm experiencing a similar thing, I feel empowered, at the end of this. So I was very happy with how it built up vocally. I think that song is one that, despite it not even having a hook, I think it's one that when people listen to it, they feel engaged because of the narrative and because of how it builds up to that climactic ending, So.
Of course. Hey, man, and I'm excited to hear the new projects and singles and whatever you got coming out next with.
The Gentle and Jovial, bro. It's going to be like 5 songs. It's definitely different from what I've done, but it's still got, the Meet the Messiah spirit and narrative to it. So, but it's definitely something different. I think people are going to like it, though.
Of course, man. Well, I think we're going to cut the podcast right here. So before we go, man, is there anything you'd like to inform us with, like the show you have on the 27th of August?
Yeah. Pop out to that. That's at One Eye Jackson, Long Island. If anyone's chilling on that Saturday, August 27th, it's going to be a real good time. Bro, thanks for having me. I always have good interviews with you. I appreciate what you do for musicians.
No, likewise, man. I appreciate I love your vibe, man. It's always welcoming.
Salute, man. As we Italians say, salute. Man, it's for real. But I appreciate the interview, man. You ever want to do one of these again? You let me know anytime, bro. Hell yeah.
Same. Likewise, man. If you ever want to come back, just let me know. We make it happen, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, bro.
All right, guys. So this was Meet the Messiah. Make sure to follow him on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
I'm on Spotify, I'm on everything, man.
Yeah. Follow him everywhere, man. Meet the Messiah. It's not even that hard. Just type in Meet the Messiah, you find him. Thank God for not making it that hard, man. But yeah, until next time, we are Acapellic. Let's get it.